The process for choosing a new pope is called a conclave, and it's done behind closed doors. It's fully secret. The cardinals who are electing the new pope are essentially sequestered. The process, it takes as long as it takes, essentially. You need to get a 2/3 majority of the vote in order for the pope to be chosen. And that will happen over the course of many rounds of voting. You might be familiar with the imagery of the black smoke or the white smoke, which indicates whether a new pope has been chosen. The white smoke means that there is a new leader, and the black smoke means that there was no leader chosen in this round of voting. And so there needs to be another round of voting. And that smoke actually comes from the ballots being burned. It's a very ceremonial ritual process that is centuries old. The cardinals who will be voting, it's only a portion of the full number of cardinals. And that's because once a cardinal turns 80, they are no longer eligible to vote. So there are 252 cardinals right now, and only 135 of them are eligible to vote. The campaigning process typically happens before the conclave. The conclave will happen after the Pope's funeral. It happens within 15 to 20 days of the Pope's death. So in between that time when the Pope dies and the beginning of the conclave, that's when you see the popable cardinals, the ones who are considered to be in the running, sort of make their case among their peers for why they should be a candidate and why they should be the next pope. The idea of electing a younger cardinal might not be so appealing because it means that they're going to be sticking around for longer. Changeability is kind of desired. Even in an institution as old as the church, you don't want to be stuck with the same person for a really long time, especially if you yourself are hoping to one day become pope. There's no restrictions on which country a cardinal has to be from to become pope. There's this idea that there's too much political power centralized in the United States, so you may not want, or the cardinals may not want, an American pope as well, because that would just centralize sort of more power in the United States. There is sort of a push to bring the papacy back to Italy, an Italian Renaissance. One of Francis's goals was to diversify the cardinals. And so there are a lot more electors from the global south, from Africa, from Asia, and from South America. So it's tough to say, how those electors will cast their ballots. There are 5 Canadian cardinals, and only 3 of them are electors. But the only Canadian cardinal who's really considered a contender for the papacy was actually also a contender last time around when he was 70. But now he's 80, and that's Marc Ouellet. He is from Quebec, and he was given a pretty high-ranking role in Francis's cabinet. He's had a variety of roles at the Vatican over the last few years. He is really considered, one of the popable cardinals. It is honestly a pretty good depiction of the process. It's hard to say whether the interpersonal stuff is quite so dramatic because it does all happen behind closed doors. It's kind of hard to imagine that it would be quite so soapy in real life, but you never know. But in terms of the process, in terms of the ceremony, it's pretty true to life. These ceremonies date back hundreds of years, and that's why they are so grand and so opulent and dramatic.